Hello, you're welcome. In this video, we are going to be solving this financial problem using Excel. So the financial problem is you've decided to set aside $12,000 annually into a long-term investment account with each deposit made at the end of the year. The account earns a fixed annual interest rate of 8%, compounded yearly. You plan to maintain this contribution schedule for 6 years. To determine the total amount accumulated at the end of year 6, the first thing we need to do is to use a financial formula to calculate the future value of the series of payments. And then the second thing we need to do, then construct a table that tracks the growth of the investment year by year, showing the balance at the start of each year, the annual deposit, and the interest earned for that year. So this is what we are required to do in this very exercise, and I will start by imputing our values provided. So the first that we have here is for annual deposit, and you can see here it is $12,000. So I'll enter it here, $1,000, and my interest rate here is 8%. So I enter 8% here, and then the number of years is 6. Then total future value. So you can see the first question here is asking us to use financial formula to calculate the future value of the series of payments. So what we are going to do is to use the future value function, FV, then enter our rate, which is 8, number of period is 6, and the PMT, let's enter a negative sign in front so as to avoid having a negative number returned. Then present value, we keep it blank, and then you can see here that we are working with end of the period. Okay, so you can see from our question, with each deposit made at the end of the year, so we are using this end of period. So I'll enter 0 here and enter. So you can see the future value is $88,031.15. So here we are supposed to construct a table to track the growth of the investment year by year. Okay, so to do this, you can see here we have number of years to be 6. And you can also see that we are making deposits at the end of the year. So it will be at the end of year 6 that we're supposed to have this our total future value. Okay, because that's when the deposit will be made. As such, we are going to include year 7 so that we can be able to see the future value for the end of year 6. Okay, so what you're going to do here, enter 1 and then up my number at 7. And then balance at the beginning of the year is actually 0. Okay, then our annual deposit is this $12,000. So we make it absolute here. Now we copy this to year 6. And then for my annual interest is the beginning amount that I have, okay, and multiplied by the interest rate. So the beginning amount for year 1 is 0. So I'll multiply it by interest rate. And so that I can copy this down, I will make this absolute and then copy it down. So this is not yet populated, and that's why we have this. So now for the balance at the beginning of the year, this is going to be the balance at the beginning of year 1 plus the annual deposit at the beginning of year one, the annual deposit in year one, and then the annual interest in year one. That will give us the balance at the beginning of year two. Okay, so we just do sum. We use the sum function, then we copy this and enter. So now I can just copy this down to year 7. If I have my calculations correct, it should return to me this very future value in my year 7, because year 7 will now be reflecting the final amount for the end of the year for year 6. Okay, so we'll just drag this down to year 7 and copy the cells. So you can see this corresponds with the future value that we initially calculated. Okay, and this is the table that we were asked to create. Okay, the table tracks shows balance at the start of each year, which is this. Then the annual deposit made. This is where we show the annual deposits made of the $12,000, and then finally the interest earned for that year. So for each of these years, we can see the interest that we earned. And this is just what this very video is about. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have, kindly like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.